The 2023 XFL season kicked off this weekend with 4 games, including the St. Louis Battlehawks at the San Antonio Brahmas this afternoon. And the Rock stopped by to say hello. With more of what's on Instant Replay, let's check in with our Larry Ramirez, the Rock's new best friend.
You know what? I wouldn't go that far, but he was very attentive to us media members when we were asking him questions. So I don't know, Rock, you want to be besties or what? So both the Brahmas and the Battlehawks saved their best for last. The fourth quarter was exciting. It went down to the final 2 minutes coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
And Coach Beck, him and I were teasing earlier, so he got the better of me today. So I think they're in there smoking cigars, so they're super excited right now. But the season's still long. It's just one game.
The Brahmas were up 15-3 with 3 minutes left in the game, but could not hold on to the lead. The XFL rules played a part in that, delivering the excitement they are looking for. It was a wild ending for sure. Don't be jealous, Tim. What's up, Rock? XFL co-owners Danny Garcia and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they love San Antonio. They told us here why they wanted an XFL team in the Alamo City, and what did they think about today's turnout, which was a sellout crowd.
If I make a half court, you gotta dye your hair. Bet. Shake on it.
In the game, if
Shake on
you
it.
make a half court.
No, I'm talking about right now.
Oh, no, not right now. No.
In the game? In the game?
You got one try.
In the game.
And if you do it in the game, yeah.
Spurs rookie Jeremy Sohan was mic'd up during Rising Stars practice on Friday, and you could tell the teenager was having a great time hanging out with some of the best young players in the NBA, and he painted his hair new colors as well. Plus, we have the NBA All-Star Game from tonight, a one-on-one interview with San Antonio FC head coach Alan Marcina, and rubber hit the racetrack today for the Daytona 500, a.k.a. the Great American Race. That and much more are coming up after the Nightbeat.
I think you'd make a better sidekick for The Rock.
Yeah, hope he's listening.
Thanks, Larry. Still ahead on the Nightbeat. If you need a break, don't worry, because spring break is just around the corner. How knowing whether to book your flight or hotel first could save you money.
Plus, it has been nearly a week since 3 students died in a mass shooting at Michigan State University. What students still enrolled are pushing for officials to do to guarantee they feel safe.
And he's currently making history as our oldest living president and will leave behind quite the legacy when it's his time. We have the latest on Jimmy Carter's at-home hospice care. People across the nation continue to react to the news that former U.S. President Jimmy Carter has now begun receiving hospice care at his home.
Now, the former president turned 98 years old last year and is the oldest living president. Isabel Rosales tells us more about his care and the legacy he's expected to leave behind.
Lord, we'd be amiss this morning if we did not lift President Carter to you.
Sunday morning in Plains, Georgia, it was packed for Sunday school at a service at Maranatha Baptist Church. This is where former President Jimmy Carter taught his traditional Sunday school in his hometown for years, until his health forced him to give it up in 2020. On Saturday, the news came that the 98-year-old former president has decided to spend his remaining time at home with his family and to receive hospice care instead of additional medical intervention, according to the Carter Center. In 2015, former President Carter announced he had survived brain and liver cancer. In 2019, he had surgery for a broken hip and received 14 stitches after hitting his head. Then he was treated for a minor pelvic fracture before undergoing surgery to relieve pressure on his brain.
I love you!
In 2022, the Carters were seen out enjoying the 25th annual Peanut Festival Parade in Plains. They were seen riding in a red 1946 Ford convertible while waving at the crowd. Meanwhile, wishes for comfort and peace are pouring in on social media for the former president. Carter's grandson and former Georgia State Senator Jason Carter posted this tweet, saying in part he visited his grandparents and they are at peace.
When I was sick, he sat with me for an hour. Whether you believe in his political persuasions or whatever you think, you know for a fact, being here, that they're genuine people that care.
In Plains, Georgia, I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
Now to Michigan State officials facing growing pressure over plans to resume in-person classes on Monday. There's an online petition with more than 20,000 signatures. The petition is calling for hybrid and online options for students who are uncomfortable with returning to campus. Almost a week ago, police say a 43-year-old man opened fire, killing 3 students and critically injuring 5 others before police say he turned the gun on himself. An MSU spokesperson told local news outlets the university is hoping to bring students back in order to unite the campus.
We know that everybody heals at their own pace and in their own manner, and so getting it exactly right will not be possible, but we will do the best we can in support of each other.
4 of the 5 students wounded in the shooting remain in critical condition. The 5th is recovering. Police say they still don't know why the gunman targeted Michigan State University.
To Ohio now, where FEMA disaster teams are now on the ground in East Palestine, now 16 days after that train derailed, unleashing clouds of toxic chemicals in the area. The CEO of Norfolk Southern, who was responsible for that train, visiting the area and releasing a statement apologizing to the people of that town who were impacted. Despite that, Norfolk Southern now faces a class action lawsuit alleging the railway company's negligence led to a, quote, 1 million pound plus chemical burn pit. In the meantime, community members handed out water bottles for those who still don't feel safe.
People appreciate it. It's probably going to be a while till everybody feels comfortable about everything in our town, but it's coming back.
State officials are now working towards opening a clinic for people in the area who are concerned about their health. And President Joe Biden has announced that he will visit the area on Wednesday.
Well, beloved auxiliary Bishop David O'Connell of the Archdiocese of Los Angeles being remembered today after he was found dead yesterday. Police confirm he was shot in a home in the Los Angeles suburb of Hacienda Heights. His death being investigated as a homicide. An Ireland native, O'Connell was 69 years old and was appointed by Pope Francis back in 2015. Parishioners in the area still shocked by the news.
He was so soft-spoken. He was a humble soul. He was not the type that would have confrontations with nobody.
O'Connell was a prominent leader in the community for 45 years. The Archdiocese of Los Angeles released a statement saying in part, "We are deeply disturbed and saddened by this news."
Back here in San Antonio, he was committed to Southeast San Antonio. Last month's sudden passing of the late Dr. Harmon Kelly would be harder for his patients to accept were it not for his daughter, Dr. Margaret Kelly.
Jessie DeGallado says she is also an obstetrician and gynecologist who began working with her father soon after she finished medical school. Now she's ready to carry on his legacy.
Dr. Harmon Kelly's name above his daughter's, Dr. Margaret Kelly, was a father's hope realized.
He was very purposeful in training me, preparing me for a time that he would not be here.
This was Dr. Harmon Kelly's office, a man whose physician daughter says is a tough act to follow.
Most definitely. Daddy was absolutely a class act and an absolute gentleman.
Beloved by generations of patients like Catherine Vargas.
He had the best bedside manner. He had so much compassion.
These are 2 of her 3 children delivered by Dr. Kelly. Along with her granddaughter Justine, whose baby will be brought into the world by Dr. Margaret Kelly.
I love her already. I've only come here twice, and I love her.
Her father was known and respected across the city for his commitment to the Southeast Side community because at one time
it was hard to get a good physician, and he was one of the best.
He saw the disparity and wanted to provide women in this community with women's health.
His daughter says being African American wasn't a factor.
But I think he proved that if you're kind, if you're the best, then patients will come.
One of the many lessons Dr. Harmon Kelly shared with his daughter.
Wonderful, wonderful 20 years. Really wonderful.
Jessie DeGallado, KSAT12 News.
All right, let's go back outside with live cam here this Sunday night. Not a whole lot going on around the Alamo City. Pretty quiet out there right now. Temperatures in the 50s and low 60s across south central Texas. Of course, this follows what was a warmer than average day. Pretty near average in terms of our overnight lows. We were about 43, close to the average of 46 earlier this morning. Highs, though, climbed to about 73 officially here in San Antonio. 75 was the afternoon high in Hondo. 81 in Pleasanton, 83 in Cotulla, 75 in Uvalde, and 73 up in Kerrville. Again, we're in the low 60s across the board here in Bexar County. Tomorrow we'll start off in the 50s, but again, that warming trend is just going to be the big story of the upcoming week, with more 70s and eventually 80s by Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got that small chance for rain, as well as some patchy fog that is possible in spots. We'll get you another full look at the upcoming week ahead in just a few, Tim.
With those spring-like temperatures heading our way, travelers are starting to think about their spring break plans. We'll tell you how you can get the best deals ahead of spring break by booking backwards. Want to know what that is? Stick around, I'll tell you.
If you're in the market for a used car, listen up. Prices are set to rise again. Data shows prices jumped 4% in just the last 2 weeks. That's an unusually large increase in such a short period of time. The jump also caught the industry insiders by surprise. A shortage of new car inventory helped drive both new and used car prices to record levels earlier last year. The busy selling season for used cars is only months away, and it's tied to when potential buyers get their tax refunds. Now dealers are scrambling to rebuild inventories, which is resulting in higher prices for used cars.
Well, we are just a few days away from March, which means people are starting to think about their spring break travel plans. But with the impact of inflation, how do you know you're getting the best deals out there? Well, ABC's Alexis Christoforous tells us some things you might want to know about before you book.
Travelers are back in full force. The TSA bracing for crowded airports, expecting more passengers this spring break than before the pandemic.
Strong demand has certainly led to higher prices than we saw in 2020 and 2021.
According to online booking site Hopper, round-trip domestic fares now averaging $264, up 20% from a year ago and up 5% from pre-pandemic levels. But that doesn't mean it's too late to lock in a deal. Scott Keyes from the travel site Going says in the past 2 weeks he's found deals like $197 round-trip from LA to Hawaii, $483 from Chicago to Paris, and $650 from San Francisco to Fiji.
Rather than choosing the destination you want to go to and then hoping and praying that a cheap flight pops up, see where are there cheap flights available over that spring break week.
So instead of flying New York to Miami for $500, consider visiting Charleston for less than half that. After peaking in May, airfares have actually come down in 5 of the past 8 months, and Keyes says there's reason to believe they'll continue to fall.
Especially as airlines are able to add more flights, more capacity, more supply to the schedule, which is going to bring down fares.
But that doesn't mean summer travel will be on sale. Experts say the later you wait to book, the more you'll pay.
That was Alexis Christoforous. And with more widespread drought, finding dinosaur footprints has become more common, but finding one this size is a big shock. How big this dino was and where the print was found. All right, take a look at your screen. This is the largest Megalosaurus footprint found in the UK. It measures 3 feet long. The 3-toed footprint is one of only 6 to be found in the area. Traditionally, it's geologists and paleontologists who focus on dinosaur fragments, but the woman who made the discovery is an archaeologist who studies ancient human artifacts. Now she's adding this big find to her repertoire. It's not a bad one.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is.
Also pretty cool, the picture that Mia has behind her that looks like a halo. Is that a sundog?
So it is a 22-degree halo, and this picture was sent in via KSAT Connect here in San Antonio. So today we had high clouds filter across the south central Texas sky. So this is a really cool thing. I actually saw it outside earlier today too. This is an atmospheric optical phenomenon that typically happens when we have those high clouds in place. Those high clouds are made up of ice crystals, and we see that halo form through the way sunlight actually refracts through those ice crystals. So it was something pretty cool to see out there in the sky earlier this afternoon. If you caught a glimpse of it, of course, thank you for sending in that photo via KSAT Connect. All right, the big stories heading into the upcoming week. Warmer than average temperatures will continue, especially after what we saw today. A big difference compared to where we ended our Saturday. Building humidity is in the works over the next 48 hours as well, which will lead to some patchy morning fog, maybe a sprinkle or two. Not completely out of the question tomorrow morning there as well. And then in terms of rain chances, unfortunately, we've just got one small shot at rain Tuesday night and into early Wednesday as we see our next weak front move through. I don't even really want to call it a cold front because it's not going to do anything for our temperatures, but it will turn windy on Wednesday after we do see that boundary push through south central Texas. So that is associated with this area of low pressure that is out in the Pacific off the west coast. Again, what this is going to do over the next couple of days, it's going to move across northern Mexico, kind of meander near the desert southwest into Tuesday, and then finally it moves into the western portions of the Lone Star State on Wednesday. Again, the better energy associated with this system does look to be north of our area, but still, we'll see if we can't squeeze out a few isolated showers across our northern counties. The time frame for that being Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. For those that do cash into the couple isolated showers out there, unfortunately, rainfall totals not looking to be very impressive. And I wish that we could really increase that rain chance because it is no secret that we desperately need the rain. This is just an update, a look at the latest drought monitor that was released last Thursday. You can see the vast majority of our area still technically classified in one of those drought levels. Parts of Bexar County stretching up into Kendall County, across portions of the Hill Country seeing extreme to even exceptional drought, that 4 out of 4 classification of drought. So we'll see what we can find here over the next few weeks in terms of getting some more beneficial rain here into south central Texas. But until then, temperature wise here tonight in the 50s and low 60s, 60 right now over SA International, 52 already in Kerrville, 57 in Uvalde, 61 in Del Rio, 59 over in Carrizo Springs. Switching this over to a look at the dew points future cast for what we're expected to find through the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. You can see that green color starts to creep farther northward. That is more of that humidity that is going to be building back into the area as well. So again, if you do have to step out the door tomorrow morning on the roadways, just plan on giving yourself a little bit of extra time. Take it easy because we are expecting some patchy areas of fog to develop, a few of which could be dense in spots. We'll start off near about 60 here in San Antonio by 7 a.m., 72 by 1 p.m., and then into the afternoon, partly cloudy skies and those temperatures looking to climb into the mid to upper 70s. Maybe the farther south you go, we could find a few low 80s out there as well. And that will be what we find here in San Antonio Tuesday and into Wednesday. Drier air is going to move in behind that boundary early Wednesday. We'll kick up some wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour at times. And then after that, just more spring-like weather throughout the remainder of the week with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s even into next weekend, guys.
I know we're still wrapping up rodeo, but man, that's fiesta weather. Let's fiesta San Antonio.
We like
Should
both.
we slow down?
We like both.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back.
I don't know what's going on here.
Knock at the Cabin stayed in 5th place, scaring up $3.9 million. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is at $168 million domestic after a 4th place weekend worth $5.3 million. Magic Mike's Last Dance fell from 1st to 3rd on ticket sales of $5.5 million. Avatar: The Way of Water made $6.1 million for 2nd place and a domestic total of $658 million, passing Jurassic World for 9th place on the all-time list. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania opened big, $104 million, the best Ant-Man launch ever and the first $100 million debut this year. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
NBA All-Star Weekend wrapped up tonight with the All-Star Game featuring Team LeBron versus Giannis.
And plus, San Antonio FC less than 3 weeks away from the regular season opener, and they are the team to beat. With the preview of what's on Instant Replay, Here's Larry Ramirez.
And that is the question. Can they go back to back? We certainly know it will not be easy. SAFC played the first of 3 preseason friendlies yesterday afternoon, and they tied Tulsa 1-1 at Toyota Field. Coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
It became my sole focus on my family, turning off the phones, being present with them, not just being there, but actually being present and engaged and doing what they wanted to do and not talk about soccer. And I'm very, very fortunate to have such a loving wife and amazing daughters.
SAFC fans asked, and we got a sit-down interview with the leader of the Mentality Monsters, head coach Alan Marcina. Where did he go to reflect after winning it all? What did he think about some of his players jumping into the Riverwalk water?
Driver, start your engines!
NASCAR traded paint today in the 65th running of the Daytona 500, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. grabbed the checkered flag in the longest Daytona 500 ever. He drove a lot of miles. We've also got The Rock, the XFL Brahmas, high school basketball, swimming, and wrestling, plus our Insera Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Play of the Week is Above the Rim. That and much more coming up on Instant Replay, guys.
Another jam-packed hour heading your way.
Yep.
And also, don't jump in the Riverwalk.
Yeah, I hope they showered after.
Yeah, we'll be right back.